No, you're fine. Miss Bayo's not here yet. No hurry. All right, are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we can bring the jury in. All right, if everyone would please be seated, please call the next witness.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for permission to go a little bit out of order so that we don't waste any time,
Sure.
if that's possible. What exhibit number are we up to? For 1.100, I believe, correct? Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state is going to call Agent Tracy Sands.
All right.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Good morning, Agent Sands.
Good morning.
Can you please spell your name for the court reporter?
Tracy is Tracy. Last name Sands, Sands.
And Agent Sands, where do you work?
I'm a special agent with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. I work with the Region 5 Field Office, which covers Liberty County, although our office is in Statesboro.
And just for this portion of your testimony, we're going to be discussing the audio statements that were preserved in connection with Mr. Kassotis.
Okay.
As a result of being a member of law enforcement, did there come a time when you took some arrest warrants in this case?
I did.
And when you took those arrest warrants, did they ultimately result in the arrest of Mr. Kassotis?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was he arrested?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
And do you recall the date?
Would have been May the 11th, or 11th or 12th.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area.
Would it be of 2022 or 3?
23.
Okay. And at that point, did you have an opportunity to speak with him after he had been arrested?
12th.
Okay. So on May 12th of 2023, he was arrested, and subsequently, did you speak with him after his arrest?
Well, I actually had to fly to Pennsylvania first, so I met with him the following day, which would have been May the 13th.
Okay. Pennsylvania is not your location, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So how did the arrangements get made for where you were going to have the interview?
We called ahead and requested assistance. We had been working with the Pennsylvania State Police, U.S. Marshals, as FBI, as well as others. So we contacted the facility he was housed at and requested to schedule an interview as soon as we could arrive.
And as a result of that scheduling, did you have an opportunity to sit down with him?
I did.
Who was present?
Detective Jack Frost with the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. He's now Investigator Frost.
And were you also, of course, there?
Yes, ma'am.
And who else was the interview subject?
Yes. Mr. Kassotis was there at that time.
Okay, and if the record can reflect, he is indicated towards the defendant. At that time, did you sit down with him, with Investigator Frost and yourself?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And was that a situation where you were able to record that interview?
We did. We were anticipating a video recording, but I always carry an audio recorder just in case as a backup, and we actually used an audio recording device at that time.
Okay. Did you have access to a video recorder at the time?
Not there. Like I say, it was a very large facility, so I anticipated one being there, but once we got in the room, they had actually put it was more like a closet than an interview room.
Okay. And did you in fact record it?
I did.
Okay. And previously you heard some testimony concerning Investigator Frost discussing the Miranda waivers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to show you 2.19. Are you familiar with that exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
That is our standard GBI waiver of rights forms.
Okay. And what is the intent of using that form?
To advise the person being interviewed of their Miranda rights.
Okay. Was this unique in this case with respect to Miranda rights?
It was. Over my 30-year career, I can only think of a handful of attorneys that I had interviewed.
Okay. And as far as you knew, what was Mr. Kassotis' former employment?
He was a judge advocate general with the Navy.
And in that capacity, does that handle criminal matters?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that act in the form of a prosecutor?
Yes, ma'am. My understanding is they act as prosecutors and defense, depending on which case is assigned.
Okay. So at that time, did you follow the same protocols, irrespective of the fact that he was previously a lawyer or was a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am. He was a suspect in custody, so we advised him of his Miranda rights.
Okay. And are those rights documented on that form?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Who read him his rights?
I read him his rights.
Okay. And is that captured on the audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you in any way threaten Mr. Kassotis?
I did not.
Did you offer him some benefit in order to give a statement?
I did not.
And everything that was said, is that on the audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, prior to coming in, did you have an opportunity to listen to that audio again to confirm that it was the audio recording in its entirety?
Yes, ma'am, numerous times.
Okay. And is that a complete and accurate recording of what occurred and transpired on May 13th of 2023 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
At this time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the USB that I physically have it on be marked itself. There are other exhibits on it, Your Honor, so I will go through that with counsel prior to the jury, but I would ask, I guess our next one is 1.101. So I will mark the USB with that sticker, if that's okay. And just so the record is clear, Your Honor, there is a folder on Exhibit 1.101 that reflects statements, and it reflects the date of May 13th, 2023, just to distinguish it.
Thank you.
Agent Sands, do you know approximately how long that initial interview was?
It was over 2 hours.
Okay. For the purposes of today, Your Honor, I'm going to try and break that up. And Your Honor, at this time, I'd now seek to tender 1.101, the file referencing May 13, 2023, Nicholas Killian James Stark.
Any objection? No objection. It is admitted.
And Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to play the audio.
You may.
You can just tell me when you're ready, madam.
Hey, sorry, Jack Cross on the Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
Hi.
Hey, where? Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
to carry them back here or not, but if I either way, that way we need later.
Okay.
You can get in touch with us, I can go from there. As you know, you need to read your rights.
Yeah,
before I can talk to
absolutely.
you. Okay.
And I water was pretty low. If you need one.
Thank you. Yeah.
And what's your name again?
Nicholas Stark.
You have a middle name?
I have two middle names: Killian, K-I-L-I-A-N, James.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
40. Okay. And what address are you using?
590 Centerville Road, number 345, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 17601.
Okay. And I know you were an attorney, so years of schooling?
I mean, I got a postgraduate law degree too, so
Okay.
I don't know, close to 20, I think.
Okay.
12, 16, 19, 21 actually.
Okay. I'll put 21 years and a law degree. Okay. As I told you, I'm a special agent with GBI. He's actually a detective with Liberty County Sheriff's Office. Says I have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, I do.
It's kind of funny asking you that.
No, it's all right.
Anything I say can be used against me in court of law.
Yes,
Have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present when involved in any question.
yes,
If I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, will be appointed representative me for any question if I wish.
yes,
I can decide at any time to exercise these rights, not answer any questions or make any statements.
yes.
So to understand my rights, having these rights in mind, I'm willing now to talk to this law enforcement officer.
Yes.
First drive from the airplane, so take
No,
me a second.
no, that's all right.
I've not been threatened, promised anything, forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements.
Yes,
Are you willing to talk to us?
I am.
You don't know, you mind if I take notes?
No, please.
And I noticed I didn't have any video in here or anything, so.
Yeah,
so
but you're recording. Yeah, no, that's.
I'm not trying to hide or something.
No. No, I'm sorry.
And I know yesterday was kind of a surprise, all the stuff going on.
Yeah.
With you. You've been advised of what it was in reference to, correct?
Just very, very briefly.
Okay. This is in reference to the death of Mindi.
Yes.
And at that time she was your wife, correct?
Yes, she was.
All right. Let's start. Let's go back to, let's say, 2018.
Okay.
What happened in your life in 2018? I know you've been through a lot of changes in time, but...
Yeah. In 2018, we started undergoing a kind of a campaign of harassment.
Okay.
It started with money going missing from our accounts, and escalated to vandalism at the house of our vehicles, threats against us.
And where were you living at that time? I know
Alexandria, Virginia.
Alexandria? Okay. Did you make any police reports?
We both made an FBI report,
Okay.
but we did not make a police report.
FBI report, okay. And that was vandalism and money.
Yes.
What type of vandalism? Like painting or like...
No, broken stuff, nails and tires, rocks through windows. I was getting anonymous emails and text messages threatening to kill me.
Okay. And then what happened?
Trying to get my timeline right. This went on for a long time.
Okay.
Getting worse, it would get a little better, it would get worse. In late 2019, we left Alexandria
Okay.
and went to Charlottesville. We were hoping, to find a,
Are you quiet, please?
yeah, hoping that it would be better. Within I think a day or two of arriving there, I was assaulted.
Okay. And how were you assaulted?
With a bat or something
Okay.
similar. We had found a place that we could rent for a while, and I had gone there to move some stuff in, and
Okay.
somebody was waiting. There's I believe it was Nelson County. It was I forget what county it was,
Okay.
but
Do you have any idea who it would have been?
I believe it was Wayne Kassotis.
Okay. And who is Wayne?
Wayne is my father.
Okay.
And we had been told, but this is kind of we'd been contacted by somebody who initially told us that he was with the FBI. He showed up one day and talked to Mindi, and then later told us he was not. But for years served as, I'm not exactly sure what that conversation was. I wasn't there for it.
Okay.
But for years has served as a advisor to us in terms of safety. He told us that he believed that Wayne was at the center of the.
So Mindi talked to him, but you didn't.
I talked to him later. I did not talk to him the first time he came to the
But
house.
so he first said he was with FBI,
I believe that was her understanding. Was that
Okay.
he said he was with the FBI.
but later he clarified with you.
That he was not.
Okay.
But he had said that he thought it would be a good idea for us to leave the area of Alexandria. We went to Charlottesville and didn't even make it. I forget if it was one or two. I forget exactly when we got down there. I had 3 broken ribs, I believe, and
Was there a police report to you?
there was not. I called them last fall, and was told that, given the fact that I hadn't actually seen him, and that I was going off of just kind of the sound. I mean, he's somebody I'm familiar with. The sound of the person, the sounds of the person made. It sounded like him to me.
Okay.
We were really unsure what to do at that point. We bounced around the Charlottesville area for about a month.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, close to 2 months. Close to 2 months. And then had a conversation and decided that we were going to go to Hilton Head for the holidays.
Now, were you still in the Navy then?
No, I was in the process of, and I forget exactly when I got the paperwork, and it was,
I got the paperwork and stuff, and I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to help my.
yeah, no. So I hadn't gotten my discharge paperwork yet, but I went to a Navy clinic,
Okay.
but I had not.
I got your official paperwork.
I believe at that point I thought I was still a reservist, and I forget exactly what the date was that the reserve discharge came through.
That's no problem. But y'all were around Charlottesville for around 2 months.
Yeah, around 2
And
months.
then you moved to Hilton Head.
Yes,
Do you remember what year that was?
that was Christmas 2019.
Okay.
We arrived Christmas Eve.
And was that when y'all lived with his brother, her brother?
No.
You didn't live. Y'all just had an initial, you and her. There was nobody else then, right?
Yeah. So for several months it was just the 2 of us. So this is now early 2020.
Okay.
Stayed in kind of a variety of places. and I want to say it was April. Her parents and her youngest brother moved into a rental that we had.
Okay.
Her father had had a knee surgery and he needed a place where he could recover without stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time they had been living with her middle brother and his wife, but his house was.
So she has 3 brothers?
No, she has 2 brothers.
2 brothers, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
You said middle also?
Yeah. He's the middle child.
Okay.
There was Mindi was the oldest. Frank was, I think, about 3 years younger than her, and then Matthew was, I believe, about 21 years younger than her.
Okay.
He was a late in life surprise for her parents. Okay, so we lived with them for 2 months or so, or give or take. Mindi and her father had an argument. She was kind of unhappy with their response to us moving, and then we lived by ourselves for quite a while.
Okay.
We were up in we were in Hilton Head for I think only about a week at this point, more. And we went to Charleston, and we were down in the Beaufort area. Beaufort.
Yeah, Buford's good.
Beaufort's good. Okay, sorry. I don't say it. And then in February of 2021, we moved in with her brother and his wife.
Okay.
And their mother was living there as well.
Okay. So Mindy's mother?
Yes. Yeah.
But her father, where was her father at the time?
Her father was in, I believe it's called Dublin, Georgia.
Okay.
So Matthew is a bit of a baseball star,
Okay.
and was going. At that point, was going to a high school there.
Okay.
And now he's going to a junior college somewhere.
Okay.
South Georgia State, possibly. It's probably. We lived with Frank and Megan for over a year.
Okay.
We had originally thought it would be a short, time, but given other things in our life, we felt that that was a good place for us to be, and we wanted to stay with them, kind of into the future.
And what were y'all doing at that time for employment? Was he working?
He was not working. Neither of us were working per se. I was working on a piece of software analysis of what it was doing on behalf of this advisor, and with the understanding that there would be payment when it was finished.
Did that ever come forward, or was that still pending?
That was still pending when I kind of cut ties with him.
Okay. So you're still developing it now? I mean, it's not like a project somewhere else, you're still working on it?
I'm still working on it. I don't know where it is
Okay.
at this time.
But you're not working on it?
No.
Okay, then what happened?
We had several conversations both with him about payment and with Frank and Megan about living situations and finding houses to live in, and Frank and Megan got to a point where they felt that it was all taking too long, and they did not want to continue planning. They wanted to put their house on the market.
Okay, what was the guy's name, the software guy that you were communicating?
He goes by Jim to me.
Jim?
Jim.
Jim, okay.
Yes. The last name McIntyre.
Okay.
I quite honestly, I feel like he's lied to me so much that
Have you ever met him in person?
I have met him in person. Yes.
Where'd you meet?
I've met him multiple times. He's shown places where we were, told us that he thought it was time for us to move, to find another place.
But the plan was for him to buy the software?
Yes.
Or help facilitate
Yeah.
the sale? Okay. Okay. Then what happened?
I believe it was June 2021. We had been told multiple times that we would have a rental, set up in our names locally, where we and Mindy's parents could move.
And that was him telling you that?
Yes.
Okay. Then what happened?
Frank, after one of the times that we'd been told that we'd be out by a certain date and we went, Frank got very upset and filed for eviction for Mindi and I.
And was that the father or the son?
I'm sorry, the son,
Okay.
who owned the house.
Okay.
At this point, the father was living in the house. He had moved in, I guess, October 2021-ish.
Okay. So you were evicted
By the son.
Son.
Yeah, Mindy's brother.
Okay. Then what happened?
Her parents put us up in a hotel for a week in Savannah.
Okay.
We waited for we were really upset with how things had gone. We felt like we were kind of abandoned.
Okay.
And Jim said that if we could continue working together, he would have more control. He would, so we rented an Airbnb in Savannah.
Okay.
There was 2 bedrooms. It was big enough for us and for Mindy's parents to stay there as well.
Do you remember an address or?
It was on 65th Street,
Okay.
but I don't remember the number.
Okay. Then what happened?
We were. I guess one of the a constant issue with Jim was him telling us things or asking us to lie on his behalf and not following through. Like causing issues.
And what sort of lies? He was asking you to lie on his behalf. What do you mean by?
Sometimes it was a matter of like telling us stuff that I have reason to doubt, that my parents were not actually my parents. Sometimes it was.
So he told you that your parents weren't your parents?
Yes.
Okay. And how did he get that? What was his source of the information?
He had me take a DNA test
Okay.
and told me that the result that he had gotten a sample from them.
Okay.
He would put me on the phone with people he said were investigators that I questioned whether they were.
Do you remember what company the DNA test was? Was it like Ancestry or?
No, so I didn't
You just never saw it?
No,
You just took the
he
swab?
swabbed it. He took it. He took it off,
Okay.
and then told me, at a later time that I was not related to them.
Okay.
But one of the issues.
What was your reason for allowing him to do that? I'm kind of following you. Why would you want Jim to know your family? Why would you give him your DNA?
I trusted him a lot
Okay.
throughout this. I felt like he was keeping us safe, and
Okay.
that he was, when he took this, it was probably. Fall 2020.
Okay.
Yes, late summer, early fall 2020.
Okay. And then what happened?
So one of the issues when we were living with Frank and Megan was that a rather large issue was that we've been trying to have a child. I think Mindi had thought that she might be pregnant. She'd taken a test that was positive, but it was very early in July of 2020.
July of 2020?
I'm sorry, July of 2021. We were living with them.
Okay. And was that at 65th Street?
No. This is we didn't get to 65th Street until July 2022.
Okay.
I think July 2022, June, July, somewhere in there.
Okay.
July 2021, we went to the emergency room because she had some bleeding.
And y'all would have been living in Hilton Head?
Yeah.
Okay. So went to ER.
Went to the ER.
Now, were you getting like your military, was it TRICARE?
No. At this point, we were.
Benefits.
We did not have benefits. We were. We were using just like Medicare, Medicaid, whichever. Once for if you're old, and once for if you're not making money at that time. that was the no money one.
Okay. So y'all had no really source of income then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
Depending on Jim for a lot.
And I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but I want to clarify, make sure I get it right.
Yeah, no.
So July 21, she took the test.
Yeah, or she'd taken the test sometime before, but she had some bleeding. July 2021, we went to the hospital learned that she was not pregnant. The woman we spoke to said it was likely a fairly early miscarriage.
And y'all met when? How many years ago?
Oh, Mindi and I?
Yeah.
We met in fall of 2015.
Okay. And you were married in?
October 2016.
Okay. And did y'all start trying to have children then?
We didn't. I was transitioning out of the Navy, and we thought that it would take a couple of years, and then we kind of wound up in the thick of the shit that we were going through.
Life.
Yeah.
In Texas terms. What about when did your rough decision that y'all really wanted to have kids start?
I think when we moved in with, we always said we wanted to have kids, and when we moved in with Frank and Megan, they had recently, probably 4 months before, had a daughter.
Okay.
And I think, seeing it and, it being her younger brother, it really, Mindi really wanted to start at that point.
Okay.
the situation was not ideal, but we thought we were moving towards, an ideal situation.
And she was getting older, and you were getting older.
Yeah, exactly. She was slightly older than I was, so. We went to the hospital, learned that we had lost the baby, and contacted Jim, and he said, don't share that. Don't share what happened at the hospital. Just say everything's fine. 3 weeks later, Frank asked Mindi if she was pregnant, and she froze and said, she wasn't allowed to talk about it. And he gave her a big hug, and he's like, that's so great. And she was upset. And came to me. We sent a message to Jim, and he said, just let go, yes, sure. Say you're pregnant, you'll be pregnant soon, and by the time the timing all becomes clear, this will all be settled.
And so how often would you message Jim?
Every day.
Every day. And how did you message him?
An app called Signal.
Okay.
It's an encrypted messaging app that he introduced me to.
Okay. And then, how often do you physically see him?
When we were at Frank and Megan's, we would not see him. But before that, it was probably once a month to once every 2 months.
Okay. And didn't see him at Frank and Megan's?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't see him in person for about 1.5 years from when we moved in with them, which he did not want us to do until we were in the hotel in Savannah.
Okay.
The first hotel, we were in 2 hotels there.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the hotels?
They were both La Quintas.
Okay.
We have a dog, or we had a dog through that. The dog is still alive, but
What's the dog's name?
Rusty.
And that was the dog you had yesterday?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess the dog was at the house or was in the car with
He
you?
was at the house.
Okay, because I got pictures sent to me of the dog, so I was making sure.
Okay.
But he was
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fine, and she said, but y'all had the dog Rusty then, so La Quintas is where you could stay.
Yeah, they have a really, or I don't know if it's this doesn't matter, but I don't know if it's just these locations or if it's a wider thing, but they're really easy with dogs.
Okay. And he looked like a lab, but it's like a mixed lab?
I call him a lab mix.
Okay.
He looks kind of like a Carolina dog, which
How long have you had him?
I adopted him in 2011 when I lived in Italy.
Okay.
He was
So he's kind of just getting older,
Yeah.
and getting gray.
yeah.
Okay. Alright, so back to y'all were in hotels, La Quintas. Back at one time you said that her parents paid, or was it both times they paid?
I think they paid. It was so. I think they paid for both initially.
Okay.
We were in one for just a couple days, and then their weekend rates were significantly higher than the other one's weekend rates.
Okay.
So she moved us there and paid for another couple days, and then we had. Then we called a couple friends to ask them to pay while we were figuring stuff out.
Okay.
At this point in time, we had no car. We were. I had recently learned that my driver's license had been canceled by Virginia. Because I guess if you I had set up a mailing address when we were moving in Florida. It was like one of those services that'll scan your mail.
Okay.
And it just seemed like a good idea for us. We weren't exactly sure where we were going to land, and we'd had problems with our mail disappearing to the point where we initially got a PO box, but I guess if you change your license address to an out-of-state address, they cancel it, and by the time that letter caught up with me, like I mean, it was years later, and I was so yeah, we were in the La Quinta for I'm not exactly sure how long. I think, I don't know, a couple weeks.
And that was prior to moving to 60.
Yeah, that's prior. Yeah, we were at one that's kind of set up as a motel. They're not too. They're probably a couple miles apart. One's kind of set up like as a motel, like it all opens, to like exteriors, and then the second one was more of a traditional hotel.
Okay.
I think that might be called Midtown, but I'm not sure.
Then what happened?
So we met with Jim. We said that we wanted access to our own money. We wanted a vehicle. Mindi. So at this point, Mindi had tested positive again as pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wanted her seeing a doctor of her choice.
And roughly when was that?
This is when we were at the hotel. This was our list of demands. So we didn't want to be depending on him for anything.
What year roughly?
Oh, I'm sorry. This was 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
She's pregnant, and around what month of 22?
Did she get pregnant?
Yeah.
She tested. She tested in May, but she had already been pregnant. We think or I was told she'd already been pregnant for a little while.
Okay. Did she know if it was a boy or a girl, or?
We were told it was a girl.
Okay. And where were y'all told that? After we left the hotel and got to 65th Street, there was a doctor who had come to the house that Mindi found, and he would meet with her, and she told me after one of her appointments that he had said that he'd done a test and that it was a girl. Okay, said he had tested and it was girl. Yeah, I'm not sure what type of test it was. He would arrive with a bag and. That's like a main doctor's bag? Yeah, like a doctor's bag. Okay. And then he would see her in the... What typically calls a doctor like that? I don't know. Okay. So this was... She said that she wanted to find somebody, and... Okay, so Mindi found him. Mindi found him, Mindi contacted him, Mindi dealt with him. It was one of our other things. I mean, there's like a ton of doctor's offices in that area that they... Yeah. No, his name? I don't. Okay. I'm not sure if I ever got it. He talked to me very little. Okay. But he would come. She would talk to him. How often had he came? It varied. So how many times would you say he came? Yeah. Probably, I mean, we were there for 5 months. I guess probably about a dozen times. It wasn't all. So he came. He came more like earlier, and then later on he came. And in between there would be, sometimes it would be like once a month. And he'd bill that to Medicare or Medicaid, whichever one's which, because I don't know which one either. Yeah, that was one of the only conversations I ever had with him. I filled out a form for that and put the number on it. Okay. Okay, then what happened?
Probably October, mid to late October. Mindy's blood pressure started to get higher. She was very sensitive to medications. She'd been on Synthroid for years and had been told that she had to take the prescription only because there's less difference between the between.
I'm sorry, that was for thyroid problems?
Yeah. There's less difference between the doses and the generic. And that she was very like when she increased her dose, like she had to do it very, very slowly. She couldn't do like a normal dose. She had issues with muscle relaxants and beta blockers.
So muscle relaxers and beta blockers?
Yeah. She had what appeared to be allergic reactions to both.
So the muscle relaxers, what were they for?
We've been in a bad car accident in October 2017.
Okay.
We were rear-ended at kind of high speed, and I saw the car coming up behind us and braced a little. She was in the passenger seat and nodded and kind of like twisted her.
And so she got some back problems?
Yeah. She got injections like into her disc.
Then what happened? And then we're back with the blood pressure and the...
Yeah. So the doctor told her that she should be on bed rest. That she should not be interacting with her parents. There have been a couple of kind of a couple of real arguments there. One was that we had considered moving to Atlanta because we thought her youngest brother, was going to be going to school there in the fall.
Okay. And they got upset over that?
No, we found it, and this had been, we'd been given like I think we'd been given like a hat for the school. He was Kennesaw State, and then we found out in late August that he'd actually failed all his classes and had lost his offer there. And we had been kind of thinking that was where we were gonna head.
Okay, but back to the no interaction with the parents, that he said they had a couple of arguments with over Matthew.
Yeah, that was one of them. And the other one was over them regularly seeing Frank and Megan. She was very upset about that. She felt that Frank had put us in a horrible position and had kind of betrayed us.
How did you feel about it?
I was extremely upset with Frank.
And she was upset too.
She was upset too. I think she was more upset. I kind of understood their situation. Like, at that point, Harper was their only grandchild, and did they not want to have a relationship with their grandchild? Like I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I can imagine this type of situation is pretty hard.
Okay. And then what? Placed on bed rest.
She's been placed on she's been placed on bed rest. I was having to check her blood pressure every night. I was given a little like digital sleeve that did it. Yeah. It was kind of nice. And then she would report that.
Timmy said that y'all were in a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
And she was not supposed to see her parents. How did that work out? Was she allowed to mediate between, or how did that?
Not really well. Like, I mean, she would basically, so there were kind of two living areas. Our bedrooms were directly across from each other.
Okay.
With the only shared bathroom with a shower in between.
Okay.
So she would send me messages like, hey, are they sitting kind of, so it was like an L-shaped house, so I would sit here kind of by the bedrooms and work, and there you had this living area, dining area, the kitchen, and then it would jut towards the back, and there was another living area.
So she kind of used you as her eyes.
Yeah, and she'd be like, hey, are they sitting, are they either in their bedroom or sitting back there, and...
Was it a big house?
No, sir.
So I made it difficult, didn't it?
It was not great.
And you said y'all were there for 5 months, roughly?
Roughly, yeah. We were discussing our options. With Jim, with them. They wanted to stay in the area. We wanted badly to leave the area. He said he would help find a suitable place for them until we got settled, and then we could potentially buy them something if that's what we decided to do. He said he wanted to get us to, we talked for some time about changing our names. He said that his plan was to have us go to Missouri for a brief time, change our names there with the court, and then to settle in kind of a rural area,
And this was Jim we're talking about?
Yeah. Near enough, medical, so that we could do all the baby stuff, but far enough that we would just kind of be, he said that he would tell us, to cut contact with people, to not tell them.
And at this point, he's really not giving you anything.
Yes, at this point, yeah.
So no money at all.
Right.
Okay. And that's Gino.
Yeah. Around Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, Mindi had been trying a couple of new blood pressure medicines, and they were not working. She would try one for a week, and then see if there was change, and her doctor came. They talked for a while, and she said that she told me that she had explained our situation. I'm sorry. Can I back up?
Yeah.
In October, I think it was September 30th. Wayne showed up at the house.
Okay.
That's your father?
Yeah.
Okay.
He showed up with his brother. I was shut. It was kind of first thing in the morning. I was.
What's his brother's name?
Chester. He goes by Chet.
Chester Chet. Okay. And what's his last name?
Kassotis, yeah.
What were they driving?
They were driving a white SUV, a Subaru rental. It was the day that a hurricane was supposed to hit Savannah, but it ended up taking a bit north.
They were like to hide from him?
What?
We like to hide from him?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was kind of coming out of the bathroom. I had had coffee. and I saw, there were shades in the front of the house. I saw, somebody there, and I just assumed it was the house's owner coming to see if there had been storm damage.
So you saw him through the shades?
Yeah, I didn't realize who it was. Opened the door and was terrified. They asked to come in. I said absolutely not. I asked how they found me. Wayne said that he'd hired somebody and it wasn't that hard. He said he wanted me to come with him somewhere to talk. There was the house next door was under construction, and there were workers there, and they started making a racket, and he and I, it distracted him, and I shut the door. I wanted to leave immediately.
And explain to me, why are you deathly afraid of him?
I thought the last time I'd seen you'd taken a baseball bat.
Okay, from the baseball thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm just trying.
Yeah. No.
Had he ever hit you prior to that?
No.
Okay. What was his reason then, you think, for hitting you or attacking you?
I don't know. Things had gotten very bad with the family, and I never quite understood it. It started with my brother Chris. Kind of this very antagonistic relationship, antagonistic attitude towards Mindi. And when I tried to like set some just very basic boundaries, like, hey, I'm not going to talk to Chris, and I want you to respect our relationship. That was when things kind of jumped off. I mean, even when we were living with Frank and Megan, I think everybody in that house got calls or texts or emails from him trying to figure out where I was.
Okay. So after that, did they leave or?
Yeah, so he left. I went out the back of the as is kind of, I guess, something that happens in Savannah. You have these almost alleys behind it, each street. So I went out the back door. We locked the doors. Mindy had her phone. I went out the back door and walked around the corner to where there was 2 blocks up. There's a hospital where there was normally security sitting in the parking lot, and Jim picked me up from there. We got it. He said he didn't think we should be moving right away. Thought it was a bad time.
So Jim lives in Savannah?
I don't know where Jim lives.
But I mean, he just showed up right then? Or?
Yeah. He appeared to be in the area. It was not a long time. He brought me to a Target so that I could buy like a little video camera, like one of those security cameras. He said, this will make you feel safer. Like they're going to be leaving the area, I think. Told me to contact the Savannah Police Department, file a report so that if he showed up at Mindy's mother's place of business, that she could both tell, like, the front desk, like, hey, this person shouldn't be allowed in, and like, please call the police, like, you can reference this report.
Okay.
which I did.
Okay.
So I made a report with the Savannah Police Department at that time. Okay. Now, Thanksgiving week. I think it was the day after Thanksgiving. I believe it was that Friday. Her blood pressure had been really bad, and she said she'd had a long conversation with the doctor about the fact that, like, we felt like we'd been stalked for years.
Mm-hmm.
We were very worried. I wanted her to go to the emergency room. She had at this point, I think, 3 pretty bad emergency room visits in a row.
Mm-hmm.
She had one way back in early 2017. She had hurt her back, and we went to the ER at Fort Belvoir, and the doctor treated her like she was there, like drug seeking, basically. And she was in horrible pain. So 4 bad ER visits, and that summer, July 2017, she had an abscess in her mouth that was in a lot of pain, and we went to an emergency room. It was basically like go see a dentist. And she's like, I just want antibiotics until the dentist opens. I don't want pain medicine. I just want antibiotics. I'm worried about this infection in my head. We had been to a hospital in Beaufort, the emergency room, when she had COVID in late 2020,
Okay.
and did not feel like the care was good. And then being going thinking she was pregnant and being told that she'd actually lost a baby. She did not want to go to the emergency room. So
Okay.
she talked to this doctor. She said that he was aware of the situation, that he worked at kind of like a birthing center, like he was affiliated, like there were doctors there who had admitting privileges, but she felt she would be more comfortable there, and that we would and she said that we would get her blood pressure under control, and then we would be ready to leave. I was in the process of looking at some apartments for her parents.
Okay.
So
Then what happened?
so he said that he was going to pick her up at some point in the next few days, so that I wasn't driving my car there.
So you wouldn't, I didn't understand, why would you not drive your car there?
Because we were still very worried about being
Okay.
by Wayne.
And that was the doctor saying he would come by?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I went to look at an apartment. We knew that Mindy's dad had hip replacement surgery coming up, so we were trying to find a place with minimal stairs, or at least some option to avoid the stairs.
Okay.
So I went out. I think this was now. This is either Friday or Saturday of that week.
Okay.
I went out and I met with one person in Savannah. It would not have worked for him. I then drove out to Hilton Head, and she told me that she'd fallen twice. that she was having some bleeding, like she had kind of breakthrough bleeding at points that were, you know, she said that the doctor told her this was completely normal, like 20% of women will have some level of bleeding throughout their pregnancy.
Okay.
So I was in Hilton Head. She said, I said I was worried, and I was going to come right back. She said that the doctor was on the way, and would be back shortly. That she would be there. That she would be there shortly. And that she would let me know. She sent me a message that she had been checked in. That like they were going to figure out over the next couple of days how long she was going to be there. And
Did she say she got checked in?
Yeah.
And this was the week roughly of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, this was either Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I went back to the house, and she wasn't there, and let Jim know that she was, going to this birthing center with this doctor that she had been working with, and he told me, so Freddie and Betsy were not there. They had gone to Hilton Head for the holiday.
Okay.
Matthew works at a kind of Cajun restaurant down there called Kenny B's. They like fried turkeys or something.
Okay.
So he can make extra money if he's there for that. So they were down there together. Jim told me when they came back that he'd prefer, while we were figuring out what was going on, not to tell them that she was in the house. That he didn't want them saying something. He was uncomfortable with the setup of her being elsewhere when we had issues just shortly before. I talked to her. We were texting. We texted on and off. Sunday, she seemed.
What do you recall what her number was?
I don't recall her number.
Do you recall your number?
No. We switched numbers a lot.
So it was on the Signal app?
Yeah, it was on the Signal app.
Okay.
No, we switched numbers a lot throughout this time, just because we were, if I had one too long, I would start getting texts on it saying, that I found your new number, I'm going to kill you. That I assumed that I assumed were from Wayne.
Okay.
And they came back Sunday afternoon. Monday or Tuesday, I woke up to a message saying that that she had talked to them and they felt like she was going to be there at least an extra couple of days, and that we should be prepared to depart the area as soon as she was released. I was asked to, maybe this was Sunday. First, Sunday I was asked to get all our stuff in order, to like pack everything up, which was no small task. We had a bunch of stuff.
Who asked you that?
She did. So she said like, hey, can you get things packed up just so we have it ready to go.
Okay.
So I went.
And what did that include?
I mean, it included, we had taken some personal effects with us when we initially left Alexandria that were, things that were important to us, but like all our clothes,
Okay.
books, electronics, toiletries. She had like a lot of
Maybe
maintenance.
this you have like rent a U-Haul for.
Yeah, no. So I figured that at this point I had a Ford Explorer that I had gotten while we were there. I got my Georgia driver's license. I had purchased a new Ford Explorer. And with it had a third row seat that you could knock down and create like a decent amount of packing space. So I started repacking all of our stuff that had been unpacked for months.
So when did you get the Explorer?
July or August,
Okay.
late July, early August.
Your Honor, I think now might be an appropriate time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and break for lunch. It's 12:30. I'm going to ask you to be back here no later than 1:45. So you've got about an hour and 15 minutes. All right, the jury's out. We'll recess for lunch. Okay. We're in recess. Thank you.